Hey guys, I'm going to wait a moment to see if we can get some people on here because we have breaking news. There seems to be something about me working from home that creates breaking news. And this is another one of those share alerts. It is both an economic and it is a cultural share alert. So if you are a Tennessee conservative subscriber and you appreciate what we do here with conservative journalism, you're not going to get this story anywhere else. This is another breaking news story. And here we go. So before we get into it, and this is about the Chattanooga Chamber forcing wokeness pledges on local CEOs, I would like for you to share this story, comment in the comments section, let me know where you're listening from, let me know how you feel about this story. If you're a conservative small business owner or a CEO in Tennessee, I'd like to ask you to reach out to your Chamber of Commerce and ask them if they're going to continue to condone this type of divisive, racist behavior. So here we go. Chattanooga Chamber forces wokeness pledge on local CEOs. Now, I got this forwarded to me, not from a bunch of conservative crazy people. I got this forwarded to me by several CEOs that are on the board of the Chattanooga Chamber. Now, this may be going on in other chambers. If you know that it is, please contact me. Private message me on Facebook, send it to Tennessee Conservative News. Call our hotline, 423-602-7945. I'm going to read you some of this. This is a pledge that they're asking CEOs, busy CEOs, who are producing jobs, services, who are working to probably feed their families, who work with the struggles in this awful environment every day. This is what they want them to be focused on, not growing the economy, not building good jobs, not employing people, but this business. Listen, we will educate ourselves to share the history of systematic racism in Chattanooga and Hamilton County and the barriers that continue. So, as we recognize them, we can find ways to overcome them. Please, Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce, please submit your scientific report on systematic racism in Chattanooga's current economic environment. Would you do that, please? And show me scientifically how there's this systematic racism around, or is this some kind of cultural religious phenomenon that you've dreamed up? I think it's the latter. Here's another little statement. We will use our influence and position to amplify unheard voices in support that lead to racial justice. Justice is justice. When I was growing up, we were taught that if you looked at people's skin color and you didn't look at the merit of their character and their personality, that you were a racist. That's what we were taught. That's what I live by. This is disgusting. I'm going to continue. We will improve the employment, training, advancement, support, and success of people of color in our workforces. Well, who wouldn't? If somebody comes to you and you're a CEO or a small business owner and they've got the skills and the attitude to do the job, guess what? They get hired. Guess what? They get promoted. You know why? Because people are struggling right now in Joe Biden's America, where they have given people more money to sit at home than to come to work, and where apparently the color of your skin is a lot more important than performance and merit and being colorblind. Here's another good one from this pledge. We will evaluate rather, contracting and procurement efforts with the intention to grow and expand businesses participation of marginalized businesses of color. Now, you can't advantage one group without disadvantaging another. You can't. If you look at two companies, and if they are of equal merit, and if you decide you're going to hire the ones of color instead of the ones that are of European descent, European Americans, you are racist. Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce is asking people to think hard about being racist. You know what always kills me about liberals? They love racism. They loved racism in the Civil War. They loved racism in the Klan. They loved racism when Jim Crow came around. They loved racism in admission standards. And today they've got a new form of racism, and it's racism against European Americans. Every couple of decades, the Democrats and the liberals trot out a new form of racism. They package it up. They call it a different name. Joe Biden said he didn't want his kids growing up in an urban jungle because these people are racist in their hearts. And they want to find ways to put racism back into a society that is moving further and further away from it if there's hardly any left. Here we go. We will continue our work by engaging CEOs for racial equity meetings to address the issues of racism, injustice, and bias in our organizations and community. So we're going to continue to educate ourselves. You know who likes education camps? Socialists and communists. When I was involved in the Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce, just like many of you out there in your small areas, and I've taken lifelong relationships away from it, and I loved it, and it helped my business. You know why I did it? Because I enjoyed it, and I liked it, and I liked the people, and I liked the mission. It was about helping small businesses and big businesses grow. It was about creating a vibrant economic climate. That's not what it's about anymore. It's about this crap, this leftist corporate garbage. I don't know if you're a conservative and you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, but if this is coming out of your local Chamber of Commerce, I'd call them and ask for a refund. I would call them and ask for a refund. And I hope some of these conservative CEOs that have been pushed to sign this pledge, I hope they push back. This is how we get in these messes. Because these conservatives, these CEOs are afraid, well, I might lose $1. Well, I might lose a penny. I might lose a contract. I might lose face. When I go to the country club, somebody might not say something nice about me. Somebody might say something about my kid at my school. Well, that's cowardice. You can't go through your life being a coward. It's embarrassing. It should be personally and deeply embarrassing to CEOs with conservative values to let this crap continue to happen and go on. Please share this. If you've watched this far, share this. Share this everywhere. Share it on the Chamber of Commerce page. Share it in all the groups that you're in. Call down the Chamber of Commerce and ask them why they're promoting racism against European Americans. It's disgusting, and we need to stand up against it. Next story. At the state level, measure making Tennessee a Second Amendment sanctuary state passes the Senate. Senate Bill 1335 says that the state will not enforce any potential federal laws or orders that it believes violates the Second Amendment and will deem them null and void and unenforceable. This measure also prohibits the state and political subdivisions from using public resources to enforce, administer, cooperate, or enforce any such treaty, executive order, rule, or regulation. Senator Jeff Yarborough, a Democrat from Nashville, said that the state-level nullification of the federal act has not been allowed since the days of Andrew Jackson in 1832. Well, we use old laws all the time that are in the codes to do things. We use them all the time. Don't like them in the code? Take them out of the code. Back to the story. However, Senator Frank Nicely, a Republican from Strawberry Plains, said the bill would be similar to what many states have done by legalizing marijuana, using California, Washington as examples, despite the federal laws making the substance illegal. We have to start standing up for this stuff. Second Amendment rights. We have to stand up against racism against European Americans, or anybody, for that matter. We got to start standing up, people. Next state story. No hybrid learning for Tennessee schools next year. Or maybe a better statement would be no hybrid, nobody learning anything for Tennessee schools next year, because if you look at the reading rates, if you look at the math rates, if you look at the graduation rates, if you look at the competency rates and the placement and employment, they are in the toilet in Tennessee. Tennessee public schools will no longer have the option of providing both in-person and remote instruction as of next year. I hope I don't have to quote the education commissioner in this story. Oh, Lord, there she is again. Here we go. Students who want to continue with virtual education will have to enroll in a specific virtual school instead of a regular public school option, according to Education Commissioner Penny Schwinn. Now, if she was educating many Tennessee kids in her role, and if she knew what she was doing, I would not mind calling her the Education Commissioner. But she probably needs to be called like the lady that can't teach kids crap in Tennessee. That would be a great title, be more accurate. The new policy is meant to relieve teachers of the burden of hybrid learning. How about relieve teachers of the burden of hybrid learning? How about relieve parents of the burden of hybrid learning? How about relieve the taxpayers of the burden of hybrid learning? So those students will be required to register for separate virtual schools. State records show that 10 districts in the state already have established virtual schools prior to the pandemic. Those schools include Metro Nashville Public Schools, Bradley, Hamilton, Marion, McNary, Perry, Robertson, Shelby, Union, Washington County. Several other counties have been working on virtual schools in the upcoming school year. Next story, national level. Made in China, Biden's climate plan raises questions about U.S. energy independence. Well, no, Biden's plan is killing energy independence. Look at the price of gas. And these labor laws, look at the price of lumber. Look at the price of everything going up. We're experiencing inflation because they're printing money like it's going out of style. Because when you pay somebody money to do something, you get more of it. So if you pay people to be unemployed, they will not work or create value. Meanwhile, the smaller group of people are out there working and creating value to pay for these individuals who are not economically contributing, and many of which would go get a job if they had to, but they don't. Next, back to this. Analysts are questioning whether China, which continues to build local plants at a rapid rate, profits from the sale of green technology to other nations and has made no commitment to reduce emissions in the next few years, as usual. And it intends to make real contributions to the climate initiative, or is it just playing along for economic gain? While the Biden administration has made aggressive, clear goals to cut emissions, China has not. So here we are competing against this economic superpower, and we're putting policies in yet again that will give them an unfair advantage. A key part of the White House climate plan focuses on transitioning to alternative energies. I wonder if that's like Obama's plan to just give a bunch of money to corporate buddies and let nothing be done with it. Critics worry China will continue to take advantage of the global trend in green technology. Of course they will, exporting it to rivals while relying on cheaper fossil fuels for its own growth. That's, well, yeah, that'd be really good. That's probably what they should do if they're planning on beating us economically. Despite profit offsetting green energy tech, China is rapidly building hundreds of coal-powered plants in its own country and in other nations around the world. The U.S. saw a boom in domestic energy under the Trump administration. Critics argue Biden's plans would threaten the nation's independence for energy, and it will. Supreme Court to take up second major Second Amendment case. The U.S. Supreme Court Monday announced it would hear a major Second Amendment court case that would have broad implications for gun rights. It would also be the first time the highest court in the land is considered a gun rights case with the latest makeup of the bench. The case in question centers around New York City's restrictions on issuing concealed carry permits in cases of self-defense violates the Second Amendment. So basically, they try to restrict gun rights, usually not for criminals effectively, but only for law-abiding citizens, because criminals don't go through the process of doing things ethically or morally, that they're criminals. And so when you put these infringements on law-abiding citizens, you just see an increase in crime. Case in point, all the cities with the highest crime rates and the states with the highest crime rates in the United States have, drumroll please, lots of Democrats leading them because their policies suck and they don't work. I'm sorry, I'm hot today. Started covering this Chamber of Commerce story and it just bothered me. It is so rude to force your political views in a business environment all over people while ignoring the fundamentals of what your organization is supposed to do. It's intolerable. I coach small business owners all over the nation. Black, brown, female, male, Croatian, European, Switzerland, Australia, Canada. And you know what I have found? You know what really makes people successful as a CEO or a business owner? Hard work, business systems, business education. You know how many racists I've encountered since I've been doing this for 7 years with 450 different businesses all over the globe? Zero. This is all a bunch of bullcrap control stuff. So please do share this video about the Chamber of Commerce and about any other story that you find here. Now, I didn't make the pitch today, but for those of you who have remained, if you go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support, if you appreciate conservative journalism, like what we're doing today, and you want to see more of it and not less of it, if you want an outlet that will bring you these types of stories, click that red support button at TennesseeConservativeNews.com and give any amount. We'll send you 2 Proud Tennessee Conservative bumper stickers. Again, I'm working from home. I'm ill-prepared. Do not have it with me. And we will also send you the Proud Tennessee Conservative tumbler if you give $50 or more, or a recurring donation of $25 or more. And if you've yet to get on our e-newsletter, please go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com and sign up for that e-newsletter so we can directly communicate with you with stories like this that break on the local level. Brandon Lewis with TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Again, I don't ask you to do this every time we have a broadcast. Leave your comments below here. Give it the thumbs up, share it, put it in groups on Facebook of conservatives that would like to know that this stuff's happening. Maybe reach out to the Chamber of Commerce or your Chamber of Commerce. Ask them what's going on. Brandon Lewis here with Tennessee Conservative News. Talk to you next time.